There are seasons in life when every path you try to walk seems to end in a wall. You knock, and there is no answer. You push, and the door will not move. You plead for a sign, and all you hear is silence. It is as if the entire world has conspired to keep you in the same place, stuck, waiting, wondering if you have been forgotten. Some of you have been here far too long. You've prayed until your words felt dry. You've tried until your strength gave out. You've hoped until hope itself began to feel like a cruel reminder of what you did not have. People who could have helped chose not to. Opportunities that seemed certain slipped through your fingers. Relationships that promised support turned away at your moment of need. And each time another door closed, a little more of you began to believe that maybe this is it. Maybe this is where the story ends. But I am here to tell you, your story is not ending, it is shifting. Because the God who formed the heavens and the earth is about to do something that will break every limitation placed on you. He is about to open a door so wide, so undeniable, that no person, no system, no enemy, and no circumstance will be able to shut it. Do you think the closed doors were an accident? No, they were protection. You see, not every opportunity is a blessing. Some are a trap disguised as a gift. Some lead you into battles you were never meant to fight. Some will wear you down until you forget who you are. God closed them not to punish you, but to prepare you. Because the door He is about to open is not one that leads you back into the same cycle of struggle. It is one that leads you into the place He has prepared for you all along. I know, the waiting has been long. You've watched others walk into their seasons while you've been left outside, hearing the music but unable to enter. You felt the sting of being overlooked, the ache of wondering if you somehow failed. But let me tell you something. When it is God's door, you don't have to force it open. You don't have to beg for the key. You don't have to convince anyone to let you in. He will swing it wide in His perfect timing, and you will walk through without fear. Think of the times in Scripture when God opened what no man could open. When prison gates unlocked for Peter, when the Red Sea split for Israel, when the stone rolled away from the tomb. These were not doors that human hands could move. They were moments that only heaven could orchestrate. And when they opened, no enemy could close them again. That is the kind of opening He is preparing for you. The kind that silences every critic. The kind that answers every prayer you prayed in the dark. The kind that makes even those who doubted you stop and say, "Surely the hand of God is upon them." So if you are in the place where every way seems blocked, lift your head. This is not the season of your defeat, it is the season before your breakthrough. The same God who has watched you weep, who has counted every tear, is about to lead you to a door that has your name written on it. And when you walk through, you will know it was Him all along. Prepare yourself, because when God opens the door, you won't just step into a new place, you'll step into the reason you were kept waiting. You see, when you stand in front of a locked door long enough, you start to think something is wrong with you. You start to question whether you are worthy, whether you prayed enough, worked enough, believed enough. But let me tell you something. God is not cruel. He does not take pleasure in watching His children suffer in endless denial. If He has allowed a door to stay shut in your life, it is not because He is punishing you. It is because He is protecting you from what you cannot yet see. Some doors lead to destruction that doesn't appear until you are deep inside. They are coated with beauty on the outside, but inside they are filled with compromise, with loss, with pain you are not meant to carry. God, in His infinite wisdom, has the perspective you do not. While you are staring at the opportunity in front of you, seeing only the immediate benefits, He is looking down the road, seeing where that path will truly take you, and if it leads to your undoing, He will close it no matter how much you think you need it. Think about it. How many times have you begged for something in the past, only to thank God later that He did not give it to you? That relationship you thought was love, but in truth would have drained the life out of you. That job you were sure was your breakthrough, but would have trapped you in a cage of exhaustion and emptiness. That friendship that seemed loyal, but would have betrayed you when you needed it most. We don't often see the danger when we are desperate, but God does, and so He shuts the door. Not because He doesn't love you, but because He loves you far too much to let you walk into a fire you are not meant to endure. And when God closes a door, it will stay shut no matter how hard you push. You can knock until your knuckles bleed. You can cry until your voice is gone. But if it is not His will, that door will not move. But here is the beauty of it. You will not always understand it in the moment. In fact, sometimes you will feel abandoned. Sometimes you will feel forgotten. But the truth is, the closed door is proof that He is near. Because only someone watching over you closely, carefully, and with deep care would be that intentional about what you can and cannot walk into. So instead of resenting the doors that would not open, begin to thank God for them. Thank Him for the jobs you didn't get, the people who walked away, the plans that fell apart. They were not rejections, they were redirections, and each one was preparing you for the door that He Himself will open, the one that no person, no mistake, no enemy will ever be able to shut. Waiting is one of the hardest things we will ever do. You feel like you've done everything right. You've prayed, you've stayed faithful, you've kept your character when it would have been easier to compromise, and yet the door still hasn't opened. It's easy to start thinking, maybe God is late, maybe the moment has passed, maybe you missed it. But let me tell you, the God who created time is never late. His timing is not slow, it is strategic. We see time as something that is slipping away. He sees time as something He controls. You are watching the days go by. He is watching the pieces fall into place. And here's the thing, if God gave you the door too soon, you would walk through unprepared. Blessings require a foundation strong enough to hold them. Without that, the very thing meant to lift you could crush you. Think of a seed. It can't be forced to grow faster just because you want fruit now. It must take root. It must be hidden in the dark soil for a season, drawing unseen strength before it ever breaks through the surface. If you dig it up too soon, it will never become what it was meant to be. In the same way, your waiting season is not wasted. It is where God is building your roots. And while you think nothing is happening, much is happening behind the scenes. He is aligning connections you haven't met yet. He is removing people who would have sabotaged your blessing. He is shaping your character so that when the door swings open, you will not only walk through, you will thrive on the other side. If you rush it, you'll enter with gaps in your faith. If you wait for Him, you'll enter with strength, wisdom, and stability that no challenge on the other side will be able to shake. That is why you must trust that delays are not denials. They are divine alignments. You will see it one day. You will look back and realize that if the door had opened even 1 month earlier, things would have fallen apart. You will understand why He let you cry, why He let you feel the ache of waiting, why He seemed so silent. It was not because He forgot. It was because He was writing the perfect moment into your story. And when that moment arrives, everything will shift so quickly, you will know beyond a doubt it was His hand His timing, His perfect plan all along. One of the most exhausting battles you've fought in this journey has been the constant need to prove yourself to people. You've explained your worth to those who refuse to see it. You've pleaded for understanding from those committed to misunderstanding you. You've worked harder, spoken softer, or dimmed your own light just to fit into spaces where you were never truly welcomed. And yet, no matter what you did, the acceptance you longed for never came. Here's what you need to understand. When God opens a door for you, it will not be dependent on whether people approve of you or not. That door will be beyond their reach. They won't be able to open it for you, and they won't be able to shut it against you. In fact, some of them will be forced to watch from the sidelines as you walk into a place they said you'd never reach. God's doors are not voted on by committees. They are not signed off by people who hold earthly titles. They are spoken into existence by His authority alone. When He says, "Enter," there is no voice loud enough to say, "Stay out." This is why you don't need to waste any more energy trying to win the approval of those who have already decided they will not see you for who you are. Sometimes God even allows rejection from people you thought would support you, because their presence on the other side of that door would limit the work He wants to do through you. Some doors are for you alone, not for your critics to walk through with you, not for the people who doubted you to benefit from prematurely, but for you to enter in His timing, His way. And the beauty of this is that when it happens, you won't have to announce it. You won't have to prove them wrong. The favor on your life will speak louder than any defense you could give. The blessing will be visible. The transformation will be undeniable. The opportunity will be too specific, too perfect, too aligned for anyone to say it was mere coincidence. So stop exhausting yourself trying to push your way into places that require you to compromise your God-given identity just to be accepted. Stop twisting yourself into a version of you that is smaller, quieter, or less than what God created you to be. If the door requires you to become someone else just to fit through, it's not God's door. The door He opens will match the person He has been shaping in the waiting. It will honor the values you refused to abandon. It will reward the integrity you kept when no one was watching. And when you walk through, you will feel peace, not anxiety, joy, not fear. That is how you will know it was Him all along. If you're honest, your prayers in this season have gotten smaller. You once prayed with big dreams, believing God for great things, but the longer the waiting has stretched, the smaller your requests have become. Instead of asking for abundance, you've been asking just for enough to get by. Instead of asking for full restoration, you've been asking just for a little relief from the weight you carry. And that's because when doors keep closing, your heart starts to protect itself from disappointment. But God has never been limited to the size of your current faith. He is not looking at your weary prayers and saying, "That's all I can do." He is still the God who can do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that you ask or think. And when He opens this next door, it will not just meet your needs, it will exceed them in ways you could not have imagined. Think about it. When the Israelites prayed for deliverance from Egypt, they were likely imagining freedom in the simplest form. No more slavery, no more oppression. But God didn't just bring them out. He led them toward a promised land, flowing with abundance. When Peter was fishing all night and caught nothing, he would have been grateful for a few fish to take home. But when Jesus stepped in, the nets overflowed to the point they began to break. That's what happens when God opens the door. It's never just enough. It's more than enough. It's so far beyond what you thought possible that it humbles you. You realize in that moment that all the delay, all the closed doors, all the disappointment was because he was aligning something far better than what you were willing to settle for. This is why you must be careful not to let disappointment shrink your vision. God is not done with your story. Just because the last season was marked by loss does not mean the next one will be. When he opens the door, you will see that he was not preparing you for a life that is barely survivable. He was preparing you for a life that reflects his glory, his abundance, and his faithfulness. So hold on. Don't lower your expectations to fit the pain of the past. Lift your eyes again. Believe again. Because when the door opens, it will not just answer the prayer you prayed in your weakness. It will answer the prayer you prayed when you still believed anything was possible. And it will remind you that with God, it still is. If every door in your life had opened easily, you might have walked through thinking it was your talent, your network, or your hard work that got you there. You might have given polite thanks to God, but somewhere deep down, the credit would have been shared with your own ability. And so, in his wisdom, he allowed every way to be shut first, not to break you, but to make it undeniable when he moves. There is something powerful about the kind of breakthrough that comes after everything else has failed. It shines brighter because of the darkness that came before. It speaks louder because of the silence that preceded it. And it humbles you because you know, without question, that it wasn't you who made it happen. It was him. Consider the story of Lazarus. Jesus could have healed him before he died. That would have been a miracle, yes, but it would have been one people could still explain away. Instead, Jesus allowed 4 days to pass after Lazarus was buried. By then, the situation looked irreversibly closed. But when he called Lazarus out of the tomb, no one could deny the hand of God. It was not just a healing, it was a resurrection. That's what God is doing in your life. The closed doors, the dead ends, the no after no after no, have set the stage for something far greater than an ordinary blessing. They have prepared the atmosphere for a miracle. Because when God opens this next door, you won't just walk through quietly. You will walk through carrying a testimony that will strengthen the faith of others who are still waiting for theirs. This is why you must not despise the season where nothing worked. It is precisely because everything else failed that God's opening will be so significant. And when you testify about it, people will see his power clearly. You will be able to say, I tried everything. I knocked on every door. I leaned on every connection I had. Nothing worked. Until God stepped in. And here's the beauty. When the breakthrough comes, you will not have to fight to keep it. What he opens is sustained by his power, not your effort. You won't live in fear that it will be taken away because it wasn't given to you by human permission in the first place. What God gives, no one can steal. What he blesses, no one can curse. And the door he opens, no one can shut. One of the reasons God has made you wait so long is because the door he is about to open is not only about you. Yes, it will bring healing, relief, and joy to your life, but it will also be a channel through which countless others will be blessed. That is how God works. His blessings are rarely meant to end with the person who receives them. They overflow, touching lives you never even thought you'd impact. Think of Joseph. The dream God gave him was about leadership and elevation, but the fulfillment of that dream did more than lift Joseph. It saved entire nations from famine. If God had opened the door earlier, Joseph would not have been in position at the right time to preserve countless lives. You may not realize it now, but the delay has been part of God's way of aligning your blessing with the needs of others. Your story, your resources, your influence, all of it will be used to heal, restore, and guide those who are still stuck where you once were. And when that happens, you will understand that the wait was never wasted. You will see that every year you thought was lost was actually an investment into the testimony that would set others free. You will see people find hope because of the very thing that once made you feel hopeless. You will watch someone's faith ignite because they see how God carried you from the place where every door was locked to the place where He opened one that changed everything. This is why you cannot give up before the door opens. Your obedience now is not just for your sake, it is for the sake of those who will walk in the light of your breakthrough. If you quit, the ripple effect of your testimony will never be felt. If you hold on, the impact will go far beyond your own joy. And when you walk through that door, you will not just be stepping into a blessing, you will be stepping into a calling to show others what it looks like to trust God when every way is shut, and to prove that He truly does open what no one can close. When the door finally opens, you will have a moment of clarity unlike anything you have experienced before. The confusion you've carried will lift. The sting of rejection will lose its power, and you will finally see what God was doing all along. Every no will make sense. Every delay will find its reason. Every path that ended too soon will no longer feel like a loss. They will feel like necessary steps that guided you here. Right now it's hard to see it. The pain of closed doors still lingers. There are still days when you replay the moments you felt betrayed, overlooked, or abandoned. And because you don't yet have the full picture, the temptation is to believe that those endings were simply failures. But God does not waste anything. Not a single tear, not a single disappointment, not a single detour. When the right door opens, you will understand why you couldn't stay in that job that drained you. You will understand why that person you thought you needed had to leave. You will understand why God allowed certain friendships to fade, certain opportunities to pass, and certain seasons to close without warning. Because all along He was steering you, not away from blessing, but toward the one blessing that would fit perfectly with who you are and what He has called you to do. It's like assembling a puzzle without the picture on the box. You try to force pieces to fit, and they don't. You get frustrated, thinking maybe something is wrong with the pieces themselves. But then, when the right piece finally clicks into place, you realize it was never about the other pieces being wrong. It was about the right piece being worth the wait. And here is what will make this door different. It will not leave you questioning whether you belong. It will not make you compromise to stay inside. It will not take more from you than it gives. Instead, it will fit so well with your gifts, your values, and your calling that you will know it was made for you before you even arrived. And when you step through, there will be no lingering doubt in your spirit, no wondering if you chose right, no fear that it will be taken away tomorrow. You will have peace. Not the fragile kind that depends on circumstances, but the deep kind that comes from knowing you are exactly where God meant for you to be, at exactly the time He meant for you to be there. So here you are, on the edge of something new, something holy, something only God could do. You've been through the silence. You've stood before locked doors with weary hands. You've carried the weight of unanswered questions. And yet, here you stand, still breathing, still believing, maybe not with the same fire you once had, but with the quiet endurance that comes from surviving what should have broken you. Let me remind you, God has seen every moment of your waiting. He has heard every prayer, even the ones you whispered through tears. He has watched every door close, not with indifference, but with the wisdom of one who knows which doors lead to life and which lead to loss. And now, In His perfect timing, He is about to do what no one else could do. He is about to place before you an open door that no man, no enemy, no force of darkness will be able to shut. It will be so clear, so undeniable, that you will not have to second guess it. And when you walk through, you will carry the testimony that will light the way for others still in their season of waiting. So lift your head, wipe your tears, strengthen your heart, because the season of closed doors is ending. The God who has been with you in the hallway is about to lead you into the room He has been preparing for you all along. And when He does, you will not just see the answer to your prayers, you will see the author of your story, faithful to the very last detail. The door is coming, and this time it will not close.